Welcome again to another round of Chamber Champions, and today I have the pleasure of hosting Andrew Pepper from Pepper Construction. Welcome, Andrew.
Oh, thank you, Arun. Namaste.
Namaste, kia ora.
Kia ora, bye.
And so lovely to have you here again, Andrew. Now, for those of you who don't know, Andrew Pepper is the Managing Director of Pepper Construction, which is a third-generation construction business here in Taranaki. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about the history and how things are going for your company?
Well, it's quite a long story, to be fair. Like you mentioned, I'm third-generation owner of a family business, Pepper Construction. It didn't actually begin in Taranaki, but it has been in Taranaki for close to 90 years.
Yes.
I think we're coming up 90 next year.
Mm-hmm.
It was my grandfather who began the company.
Yeah.
He actually had building co-ops. So he came north from the South Island, and he came north on the advice of the government to do government housing or state housing. So at that stage he had a business in Blenheim, he did a bit in Hastings,
Yeah.
and in New Plymouth. But also while he was in New Plymouth, he was in Auckland.
Plymouth, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
came to New Plymouth, and he actually started in Waitara. Okay, had a company then, which was a co-op called Waitara Construction Company. But he began Pepper Construction in Christmas to 1935.
1935, wow, yeah.
And we built houses from then. There's some still standing at, look, exactly the same on Clovelly Street up behind the Bowl of Brooklands.
Wow.
Right until the 80s. And that's when state housing or government housing, well, housing stopped.
Yes.
Okay? They actually came down and saw my father, who had taken over the business in the 60s.
Yeah.
He came down because he was an engineer, a civil engineer, and while they were building roads, so they did roads, housing, everything in the Marfell, he had to come down for his knowledge of how to drain the swamps and form the roads.
Yeah.
So my dad continued the housing right into the 80s, and then when that stopped, he got into what we call light commercial or schools and local body kind of stuff. So he changed it from a housing company to a light commercial company. And that continued along, and I worked with my father and my uncle, who was a carpenter and came down to join the business from Auckland, in 1998.
Right.
I was put in the back room, given a set of plans and a scale rule, and told, here you go, start pricing that up. So it was literally the Pepper way, which is throw you in and see if you can do it. And since then, we've actually continued the full circle. So we continued doing a lot of that light commercial, residential alterations and things. And then when the housing boom came on, we got on to that with modular housing and then government contracts.
I remember that, yeah, no, well done.
So currently, we're probably 50% of our business is government housing, state housing. But along the way, we did Kiwi Build.
Yes.
Up in Marfa, we rejuvenated a neighbourhood which we'd probably been involved in previously building 40 years previously. Okay, so that was quite satisfying.
Yeah.
The sad thing was seeing the old houses get taken away because they still had good bones.
Yeah.
They had really good bones, and housing today is quite different.
Fantastic.
And now I've brought my wife into the business.
Right.
And people ask, what's your role? Well, it's to keep Andrew in line. Okay, so that's really...
That must be the hardest job then for Paula.
Oh, it's been quite rewarding for me, to have somebody you can trust. Businesses like that, you'd like to deal with people that you trust.
Yes.
And it's really helped me and helped the business also.
What do you see the future of the housing industry in Taranaki at the moment? You've had, obviously, since 1935, we're talking about 90 years almost of quite a great history. Yeah.
Well, it's still a great place to live.
Sure.
So, and we have a lot of space. People don't really realise until you live here, we have a lot of space. They tend to go for more high density housing or living. I mean, you may see more housing in the centre of town, for example.
We're seeing it already, aren't we? Yeah.
But I think we have the area and the place to accommodate a lot more people.
Sure. What are your two biggest challenges in the industry today?
Well, one's inflation.
Yes.
We've had a tremendous lot of inflation over the last 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
And compliance. we're literally tying ourselves up in cotton wool, and that just adds cost and time to the process. So they're probably the biggest challenges.
Compliance and inflation, yeah. Look, you've been fabulous partners of the Chamber. We know you support businesses through your involvement with the Chamber. You're on quite a few boards. From what I can recall, you've been on the board of WISE, you've been on the board of Taranaki Futures in the past. You put your hand up for a board here, the Taranaki Chamber of Commerce board. Good luck with that. You're also on the board of Building Wellness Trust. What all has Pepper Construction been doing for the community that many of our viewers today are not likely to know already?
Well, we do a lot of sponsorship, you know. We sponsor sports teams.
Yes.
We sponsor a lot of people with disabilities, children to go to events.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. And we train a lot of people. You know, we've been consistently training people the whole time I've been in the business. Currently have 5 trainees, apprentices. And a lot of these people have gone on to actually form their own businesses and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And just like you said, getting involved with community boards, school boards, not only is it satisfying, you just get in with a different group of people, which gives you different perspectives. Yeah, you have your own view, but perhaps not always right. So you learn stuff.
Yeah.
Community gives back.
Absolutely. Andrew, look, it's been a delight having you here at Chamber House. And we are so fortunate to have Pepper Construction as part of the Taranaki community. You know, almost 90 years. And you are carrying on the tradition of giving, being on so many boards, helping out students, people with disabilities, schools. I think we're really fortunate to have you. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Kia ora.
Kia ora.